No cringe opening this time. Spoilers. I'm going to keep this short. One Piece chapter 1045. Luffy fights Kaido with his cartoon powers. I liked it. It was really funny. Last chapter, we got the explanation that Luffy's fruit is not a paramecia fruit, but his own fruit. Luffy and Kaido don't know this, but Kaido's kind of figuring it out. So with Luffy's fruit awakened, he can make the stuff around him rubber. He can make his opponent rubber. Goes inside Kaido. Makes him really big. The people watching down below, one of them says, I think it's Yamato, says, looks like Kaido's put on weight. And then Luffy stretches his arms out through Kaido's eyes to grip onto his nose to propel himself out, which confused me when I was reading it, because after he pulled himself, did he quickly withdraw his arms so that his whole body would fly through the mouth? Because if not, it looks to me like he would have just burst out the front of Kaido's face and torn it open. Like, there's a scene in the really old Pink Panther cartoon that does that, where dinosaur eats some people hunting for a bone and they just break out of his face and shatter a bunch of his teeth. That's what it looked like was gonna happen, but I assume Luffy, after pulling himself, quickly withdrew his arms so as not to just devastate the entire front of Kaido's head. It was really great when Kaido smacked Luffy with a club and his head went down into Onigashima and scared everybody, and suddenly a giant cartoon head with flaming hair comes screaming down into the room there, and there's a really great shot of Luffy right before Kaido hits him in the back of the head with the club, where Luffy is like jumping for joy next to Kaido who's about to hit him, and it's such an awkwardly drawn scene. And I'm not saying that as an insult or as a criticism, but it's so weird looking. It looks like an image of Luffy from a different panel was like cut out of that panel and inserted into this panel. It doesn't look like it goes together. Luffy is like doing this, and Kaido is to the side. And I think that was intentional. I think it was meant to show how completely unbothered by the whole situation Luffy is. He's just having fun. He's reveling in his power. Kaido hits Luffy in the back of the head with his spiked club, giving Luffy a look that I hope he now has for the rest of the series. I want this to be Luffy's official design from now on. I do not want him to go back to this. I want Luffy to now forever be Crescent Moon Luffy. This is the Luffy I want now. I want all the merchandise. I want all the anime openings going forward. I want it to be represented this way. This is Luffy's look now, as far as I'm concerned. No, but in all seriousness, apparently he's black and white. His hair is white. Everyone thought it was yellow or orange or something because the sun god, which makes sense, and I think that would have been better, but I mean, we haven't seen it yet. I'm sure the white will look cool. Also, his clothes are white. This is one of the few instances in anime where a power-up that changes someone's clothes actually makes a lot of sense beyond just like, oh, it's magic, because Luffy's bizarre body reality warping imagination powers should be able to influence his clothes, I guess. Giant Luffy, it's cool, it's fine. I like that this new form appears to have a time limit, although it's up in the air how much of an impediment that actually is, because he just kind of reactivated it once he fell out of it, which also kind of makes sense because it's the idea of the only limit is your imagination. So it's unclear how much of that is imagination powers and how much of that is physical stamina, but it doesn't really matter. Like Luffy punching Kaido in the face and his fist coming out the back of his head, not bursting through his face, but like turning Kaido into semi-rubber. That makes sense, and I like it. It was a fun visual. I do kind of feel like the happy, fun, silly nature of this fight clashes tonally with how serious the arc is. I think about that scene where it's revealed what the smile fruit actually is and what Kaido and his followers have actually done to the people of Wano, the horrible scene when Zoro has it explained to him and all the people are laughing. I think about that, and like, this is what Kaido has done, and then now Luffy being kind of friendly to him and being like, this is fun, Kaido, I'm having the time of my life, and enjoying it, and like it's almost like he feels a fondness for him. It's kind of weird, but I think it works fine for just this, 1 or 2 chapters, because Luffy is, like I said, he's reveling in his new ability. It's the point of him being Joy Boy, I get it. And obviously things are gonna go more serious, I assume, before the arc is over, so it's fine. Good chapter. It's nice to be enjoying One Piece again. I haven't really liked a lot of Wano, but it's good stuff. really excellent moment when he gets back up, gets back into Gear 5th form. The panel there, I can imagine what that's going to look like in the anime. It's going to start close up on him and then zoom out. It's going to be really cool looking. I forgot to mention I love the moment when Luffy shouts out Pedro here. And of course him saying he's not afraid of death. After all he's been through, how could he be afraid of death? So something I was thinking about with how silly this fight is, Oda has said that he originally intended One Piece to be the story of taking down the 4 emperors, and the story got stretched out a lot because of the Shichibukai. So if you remember back to old, early One Piece, the way Luffy would finish fights, Alvida, Axe-Hand Morgan, Kuro, to an extent Don Krieg, the way fights finished and wrapped up were a lot less dramatic and a lot more fun and whimsical and silly. So if Oda has been planning for One Piece to be about taking down the 4 emperors for a very long time, it makes me wonder if he had the general tone. I don't know about the specific details of the fight, probably not, but it makes me wonder if he had the general tone of how the fight with Kaido would wrap up in his mind all along, because the way Luffy is fighting Kaido in this chapter very much calls back to old One Piece to me. It's not anywhere near as dramatic as Luffy versus Doflamingo, Luffy versus Katakuri, Crocodile, Rob Lucci, any of that. Granted, we're not seeing the end of Luffy versus Kaido just yet. I'm just saying we could be getting there soon. Anyway, I was just thinking about that. It feels like old One Piece to me. Makes me wonder if Oda has had how tonally this fight would go in his mind for a very long time.